Hey guys, this is Chris and I'm in my office. It's my last week to be in my office full-time before I go back to the United States to visit family. And I'm shooting on a new camera that I just won in a competition with Sony, which is so exciting for me. It is the Sony FX3 and it is such a great camera. I've been using it for about a week or two now and I love it so much. Now, I bet you can't guess what lens that I've got on the camera right now. So I'm just going to tell you, it's a 16 to 50 millimeter lens that is for a crop sensor camera that we use, the ZV-E10. It's a Sony camera. I think it's kind of like a vlogging camera. But anyways, today I wanted to show you the difference between different focal lengths that you use on a camera. And I'm going to just shoot the video straight through. And I'm going to show you the different focal lengths that I have available just right in front of me. I have more, but I just want to show you what it looks like, and then you can get an idea of what it's like. I'm not going to cut the video at any point. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to take the lens off. It's going to go completely white. I'm going to put a new lens on. So right now I'm using the 16 to 50 millimeter OSS Sony lens that you get. It's a kit lens that comes with the Sony ZV-E10. And now I'm going to switch to a full frame lens. Okay, here we are. This is on the 12 to 24 millimeter G Master lens, and I just purchased. I did not purchase this lens. No, this lens was given to me free for winning a contest. I got the FX3 and the Sony G Master 12 to 24 millimeter f2.8, which is amazing, and I really love it. Look, I'm sitting about 3.5 feet away from my camera. I can touch it, but it looks like I am super far away. And look, if I stand back a little bit, look at me. Whoa, unbelievable. I can fit all the way in the frame just about 7 feet away. So here I am. Like I said, I can touch the lens right here. And this lens is really great. If you have ever considered getting a wide angle lens, I mean wider than a 24 millimeter lens, this lens is something that you should really consider. It's quite pricey. Like I said, I won it in a prize and I probably would have never bought it on my own. But it is a phenomenal lens and I really love it so much. Now the one that we had on there just before this was a, I have to get really close. It was a power zoom 16 to 50 with optical stabilization. And it's actually quite nice for what it is, but I don't think I would ever use it. So, but I have it here just so that we can see what it looked like on the FX3. This is the 12 to 24. This is at 12 millimeters. I'm shooting, it looks like I'm shooting at f3.5. I meant to be f2.8. So let me make that setup real quick. Here's f2.8, shooting at ISO 100. It looks like I'm a little bit underexposed in this situation. I've got a light on the side here. You can probably see it. It's one of those lights that they use in weddings. This is not what I would normally use to shoot a video, but actually in this situation it can look pretty nice depending on the focal length. In the background here I've got some tube LED lights. Whoa, they're so far back there you can't even see them. They're so far back there. Look at these tube lights back here are really exciting because they can I mean, they're very inexpensive. They can actually add a lot of interest to your scene, as we will see when we start putting on different focal lengths. So this is 12 millimeters, and I've got a hair light here. You can see it right there. I don't know if I can get it or not. Anyways, that hair light is by Aperture. It's a 200D. It's kind of like a really handy light that most people use for YouTube if you don't have a lot of money. And it's been a great addition to our workflow as we shoot a lot of interviews and a lot of things with lights, and I really enjoy it a lot. So right now, 12 to 24 at 12 millimeters, f2.8. Shutter speed is 1/200, which doesn't make that much of a difference here in my office. And it looks like I'm at like -3 on my exposure right now, and I've got an ISO 100. This lens is great because I can get in really close and it catches my eye. I'm like that close. I mean, come on. That's crazy, isn't it? Like, look how warped and crazy my face is. Still catching my eye right here. I mean, I am so close. My nose is almost touching. It's that close, okay? That is a 12 millimeter. Now I'm going to put it on 24, and you're going to get to see what that looks like. So here's 24, which I think is, I think a lot of people know 24 and what it looks like. It's a wide lens, but it's not as wide as a 12 or even a 16. And I'm still able to touch the lens from where I'm sitting. I'm going to sit back a little bit. This is where I'm going to be when I start putting on longer lenses anyways. I'm not going to show anything above an 85 because that's not really going to work in this office. So you can see my office is a little bit messy. It looks really gigantic with a 12 millimeter on here. You can see a lot of crazy things here. I think you can even see the antenna from the Wi-Fi here. That's just unbelievable. And my hard disks and stuff. I'm getting ready to head home to the United States for a couple months, and just wanted to shoot a video because I was just bored at the office today. So I'm going to switch now to 24 again, just so that you see what 24 looks like. There it is, 24. I really like 24 as a even for interviews. I like it. I think that sometimes it's nice to get just a wide angle on someone, and I use it often. And recently I even did an interview with someone in a palm tree field, sorry. And I think I even used the 12 millimeter on that one, so I could show like the area all around. So here on 12 millimeter, I'm standing about 3 or 4 feet away, and I can get a lot of my body in there already. So now I'm going to switch over to the next one, which is a 50 millimeter lens, and I'll show it to you real quick. This one is a 50 millimeter by Sony, and it's a really cheap lens. It's a f1.8, and I think that it's a really handy lens to have, but it is really light. I guess that's a really good thing for some things, but it's not really well made, but it still looks pretty good. So let's take a look. All right, so here's the 50 millimeter lens. Now you can see that we're getting a lot of compression, you know. So I'm sitting a little bit farther back than I was before. I can still reach over and touch the lens here as I lean forward a little bit. And you can see the lens, the f1.8 50 millimeter lens, it's catching my eye as I look on the screen here. And I'm really happy about that. I can get, let's see, I'm still getting in focus right here, and I'm getting pretty close to the lens here, about an arm's length away. But you can see that the compression in the background is really nice, starting to get really nice, especially with the f1.8. You can see the aperture light is starting to look a lot bigger than it used to, and you can see the flag a lot better. And then you can see these tube LED lights back here that are really nice for adding some depth to the background. I've also added, I think I showed this already, but I'll show it again. This is the wedding light here, and I'm using it just off to the side to give me a little bit of light on my face on the side. It's not the best light, but anyways, I've got my hair light is coming at the different angles, so I'm using this whole wall here as kind of like my main light, but it's not super bright on my face. And the light from the hair light is actually shining all over here too, and I haven't put up any like black or anything to like control what the shadows are gonna look like on my face. So we'll see what it looks like when I'm done. I didn't want to set up a stand here because I was kind of lazy, and I'm in a really tight space here. So this is the 50 millimeter f1.8, and I'm still shooting. It's not 1.8. Let me put it on 1.8 real quick, okay? Let's put it on 1.8. There it is. 1.8. It was on f2.8 because of the 12 to 24 millimeter G Master lens. So now it's on f1.8. You see it's pretty bright. It says +3 on my exposure here, and I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Overexposing sometimes looks really nice too. But you can see how it looks on my face. I use 50 millimeters, or I use a 50 millimeter equivalent often. When I'm shooting interviews and stuff. It looks really nice in the background, especially if you have a very shallow depth of field. So I'm pretty far from the background right now, probably say about 5 meters, maybe, give or take. So, and now I'm going to switch over to the 85, which is a Viltrox lens. I have Sony as well, but the Viltrox is pretty nice. 85 1.8. Check that out. See what it got. See what it has. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit. Still cutting my head a bit and stuff. But I'm going to move over here to the side and see how that looks. So I've got my Cambodia flag in the background. Now it's really getting bright. The hair light seems a little bit more brighter, and it seems almost like there's kind of like this flare coming in here. You can see that there. That's from the Aperture 200D, which is a very bright light. I've just got I don't know, the Cambodians call it a plate, but it's like just a modifier, just a simple modifier dish. And it's just shooting right into my hair. I don't know actually what it is set, what is the power that it's set to. So maybe I should check real quick and see, because that would be interesting to know. It is set at 83%. 83%. It's a pretty stinking strong light. And I really like the Aperture 200D, 200X, and we've even tested some 60Ds, which are really nice as well. They make great lights for making videos, and my team and I do a lot of interviews, and so we use them all the time. I love them. They light up a room pretty quickly. They're not super powerful like some of the other Aperture stuff, but they're very nice lights. So here's 85 millimeter, looks like I'm f1.8, just like the 50 millimeter, and I'm shooting at 200th of a second, and ISO 100. And now you can see that just in a matter of a few lenses, okay, my 16 to 50 f3.5 APS-C lens. Okay, then we went to our 1.8 1.8 50 millimeter by Sony. Now we're on the 85 millimeter Viltrox, which is a really great lens I like. And then of course the new one that I just won, 12 to 24 millimeter G Master lens, f2.8. So you've seen all the different focal lengths, okay, that I currently use. I guess I do have a 105 millimeter lens as well, but I'm not going to get that out right now. I just wanted to show you what it's going to look like if you're going to use these in a setting, filming an interview or doing a YouTube video or something like that. Okay, I'm sitting away from my 85. I have to lean forward and then I can touch it right there. Okay, 3.5 feet maybe, and yeah, it's not so bad, but I'm not adjusting anything to show you what I would do if I had to change anything to make it look a little bit better. And I'm having a little hard time seeing where I am in the frame because my screen's kind of far away. But you can see my flag here, kind of a cool flag. Before it didn't look as bright, but now because I'm using f1.8 and I'm using shallow depth of field, it just makes everything pop. The tube lights look like massive now, whereas when I was using it in the 24 millimeter or the 12 millimeter, it was very skinny, tiny little tubes. So, and those tubes there, I bought from Global House for about $3 or $4 a piece, and I have 5 of them, and they work really well. I am using this light bulb here for my main light. You can move it around. I probably, if I was going to actually do a video, I'd probably move it up here somewhere, and I'd probably put some black on this side in order to kind of control what I'm going to look like in the video with my shadows. I'd probably do that, yeah. But right now it's just sitting on the counter here, and like I said, it's one of those ones from the weddings. Can you hear the fan? I don't know if you can hear it or not. But anyways, it's got a fan system in here because it's a very bright light and it wants to cool down. And I want it to cool down too because in the office it gets pretty hot if all the lights are on. So that's what I got for you today. You saw all the different focal lengths. Okay, we saw all the way from 12 millimeter, which is massively wide, to 24 millimeter, and then we saw 50 millimeter, and we saw 85 millimeter. And of course we did show what it looks like with a crop sensor lens, APS-C sensor lens, and on the FX3 you can't actually use an APS-C setup because it's not really made for that. It's a full frame camera, and the sensor the sensor on the camera is 12 megapixels, so it's not really set up for APS-C lenses. But anyways, we just tried it out just to see what it looked like. And thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in learning more about photography stuff. This is just a simple lesson about how to use different focal lengths in order to make your background look different. We didn't change anything. The camera stayed in the same location. My crummy light here stayed in the same location. All the lights in the background stayed in the same location. I didn't move anything. In fact, I didn't even move myself except for a little bit in the chair, front or back, so that I could make sure that I didn't cut off my head completely. So, but thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions about other things that you'd like to know about photography, that would be great. And if you want to know any more about lenses, I've done a review of some of the lenses that I have, not of the 2.8 G Master 12-24, but maybe I'll do that in the future. I really like the lens. And don't be afraid of wide angles. They are stinking amazing. Amazing, amazing. Thanks so much for joining me today. Peace.